Hey Yeast World, I am back with another video. Today I figured we would have some fun. And I know the Y2K trend has just been raging recently. Everybody's talking about, Y2K. The younger kids are like, oh, this is so cool. This is vintage. This is very retro. And then people who actually lived through that era is like, oh my God, I can't believe what I'm seeing at Target. And all of these bags that are cool again, whether they're being revamped or they just got that vibe from the Y2K. So I want to go over 10 different bags that I lusted over back in the early 2000s. So let's just get right into it. Oh, I totally forgot to add. I also wore this particular shirt for this video for a reason. You see this logo? Who remembers this? So we're going to play a little game here. Well, I'm going to play most of the game. But if I'm picking out 10 different bags that I remember from back in the day, which of course I literally could not afford any of them. I was still carrying my, $5, $10 bags. At one point I thought I was cool and I wore Django jeans and I did not carry any bags at all. All I had was like a little wallet or a card holder or one of those wallets with a chain on it. And I had the Django jeans, which of course everything fit in there. So there was a time period I did not wear any bags at all, but that died maybe in a year or two. And then it went back to my strong love for bags and, having purses in my life. In any case, these are 10 bags that I lusted over. If I were to recreate that collection and fulfill my teenage dream, how much do I have to spend today in order to create these 10 bags and add them to my collection? But the first bag that I really wanted was the Marc Jacobs Stam bag. That was just chef's kiss back in the day. Teenage me wanted that bag so bad because it's got the kiss lock on top and it's got the quilted. If you think about it, this particular bag has all of the features that we still use today, right? Maybe not so much the kiss lock, but the quilted, the puffiness, the long chain that came along with it. I know they brought this bag and this Stam model back recently, but it never took off like a lot of the revamps, like, how LV was doing the denim collection, the Vernis collection, but Marc Jacob, this one didn't really take off. I'm wondering if it's because of the pricing, if it's priced too high, I'm not quite sure. But originally it came out in 2005 and 20 years later, almost 20 years later, they revamped it, but it kind of was a flop, right? The second bag I wanted so bad, and I kind of forgot all about this bag forever. And when I went to Nordstrom's recently, I saw it on their floor, the Parenza Schuler PS1. Oh my goodness. It was the it bag. And this was released in 2008. And I, of course, wanted that bag so bad. But I think I ended up getting a Mulberry Alexa instead. I don't know why, but that was just like in my heart forever. And I think it was because the Mulberry was cheaper, which is why I went for that particular style with all the buckles and everything. But yeah, I never got around to owning one of these, and we saw it forever, and then all of a sudden Parenza Schuler just disappeared. And now they're making a comeback on Nordstrom's, sales floor. The third bag is the Chanel Combo line. And the one I like in particular is the tote. One of my teachers had it, and every single time she's up teaching or whatever, she had her tote loud and proud in front of her, next to her as she's, doing her lectures or teaching or whatever, which is completely unnecessary. You could definitely put your tote somewhere else, but she was very, very proud of that bag. And I understand. It's a really pretty bag. But obviously Chanel, teenage me, college age me, definitely could not afford that whatsoever. I don't even know if I even understood what Chanel was. I just saw that and I was like, this is a very distinctive looking bag. I've never seen this before. And that CC and the quilted puffer look, it just caught my attention. I kind of wanted it, but I kind of didn't want it. I didn't know how I felt about it. I clearly did not know how much a Chanel tote would have cost, right? Obviously, it was a lot cheaper back then. The fourth bag is the Ralph Lauren, I guess their monogram. It's just like, I don't even know what it's called. I tried searching for it. I found a couple pieces and I actually own this one. This is the nylon one and I'll insert a photo of me wearing it. I've had that bag for, I don't even know what I did with it. I think I donated, but I think that was one I really wanted, and it was something I could afford. I might have found it at Marshall's or TJ Maxx. I can't remember, but it was the Ralph Lauren print. That I wore that bag to bits and shreds, and I think I got it stained. I took it to the beach. I took it to vacations. Went to school with it. I was so happy to have that bag with a silver buckle and everything. So I know this wasn't like an it bag, but it was an it bag for me that I actually could afford. Now, obviously, this fifth one is going to be the Coach wristlet. Like every single girl had a Coach wristlet. Everybody and their mother had a Coach wristlet, right? Just that entire print. I remember wearing it to school, and I think that it was like a thing back then. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. But girls in college those days, would have their little Coach wristlet. It can't be inside their backpack. So you would have your backpack and you're going to class. You had your books, your laptop, or whatever is in there. But you can't have your Coach wristlet inside your backpack. It needs to be on your wrist as you are walking around. So I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, oh, I should do that. Let me give that a whirl. Maybe I shouldn't keep my Coach wristlet in my backpack. Yeah, I tried doing that for one day. Lost it in, I lost my wristlet and my wallet and my IDs and my credit cards the first day I tried doing that. It didn't make any sense to me. And of course, my dumbass immediately lost the wristlet. So yeah, clearly I can't keep track of two bags at once. But yes, the Coach wristlet was an iconic piece from back in the day. And every person, every girl had to have it. The sixth bag is going to be the Balenciaga City bag. I remember when this bag first came out, and I was just like, what is that ugly ass thing? And I saw my friend who in college was able to afford designer bags, and she bought one that was green, red, blue. It was like multicolored. One side was blue, one side was green, the other side was red, and then one side was like purple. That was the first time I ever seen a Balenciaga bag, and I thought all Balenciaga bags were supposed to be that way. I thought it was the ugliest thing ever. And then, of course, I realized they do come in really pretty colors. Now, obviously, we all do not wear Balenciaga nowadays. And let me tell you, I am so mad at Balenciaga. Like, why did you have to do this? I loved the Balenciaga City bag. It was such a great bag. The quality is great and everything. And now it's just like you've ruined it. You've literally ruined it for everybody. But the Balenciaga City bag in 2001, that's when it was released. And of course, every single girl had to have it. And it was the it bag. So we all know the whole craze with it. So I'm just going to move on to the next one. The seventh bag is going to be the Von Dutch bowler bag. I know the celebrities are bringing it back and it's popular again, but I think that trend is going to die pretty quickly. But of course, I wanted a Von Dutch everything. I wanted a Von Dutch trucker hat. I wanted a Von Dutch, bowler bag. And then realized how much they were, couldn't afford it, and I don't even know what I would put it in. So obviously, I never bought one and never owned one. The other thing, this is kind of like a bonus item and like hand in hand. The other one was the Lululemon bowler bag. That was something I really wanted as well. And that very distinctive logo. I remember when I first saw it, I'm just like, my head was just like, what is that? And it came in all kinds of pretty colors like turquoise and pink. And my eyeballs were just like glued to it, to whoever was wearing that. And I'm just like, I really want that bag. So the eighth bag is going to be the Juicy Couture. Just any, I don't even know what they're called. There's so many like models of them, but basically it's like their tracksuit material. They're like sweatshirt tracksuit material turned into a bag with lots of pretty ribbons and like little Scottish dogs, key charms that hang off of it. I wanted that bag. And I think I remember it's like, oh, Mom, I really want that bag. The thing she immediately said was, oh, that looks like a towel. Why would you want to wear a towel as a bag? I was like, Mom, you just don't understand, okay? You just don't understand. It's the trend right now. But yeah, that was a hard no from her. And I kind of get it, because if you don't take care of that bag, that is just a dirt magnet, and all of your, it's like if you're eating like, fries, your hands are greasy, might as well wipe it on the towel, right? That's what happened to that bag. And it's just got really grimy from what I've seen on girls. So I'm kind of glad I did not get that bag. All right, the ninth bag I want to go over is the Fendi Spy Bag. This was released in 2005. And I thought it was the ugliest thing ever, but then I also thought it was like the coolest thing ever because of the enclosure. Not necessarily the handle or anything that kind of looked just weird, right? But the opening and enclosure of the bag I thought was super cool. My mom actually found a knockoff version or a dupe version because she really wanted it as well, because I talked her into it, and she never wore it. So what do? Grabbed it from her and started wearing it. The first time I wore it, I remember I don't even know why I was carrying nail polish, but I didn't screw on the nail polish very tightly, and guess what? It spilled all over that bag, and it hardened, of course, as nail polish would do, and it kind of just stuck the opening together. Never told my mom. I told her I lost the bag. So it was a knockoff. So I wasn't like too upset, but I also felt really guilty because the first time wearing it, I decided to ruin it. All right, number 10 is going to be the Dooney and Burke bag. We all wanted a Dooney and Burke, and I've talked about this. You know exactly what we're thinking about. It's like the it bag for the longest time, which is really interesting. If you ever have been to Dooney and Burke, like their outlets, or there's one in Chicagoland, and if you go see them, I don't even know if they're like at Macy's anymore, but if you go take a look at their bags, they are still living in 2002, which is great for them to be able to continue their business and operations and still live in 2002 designs. Kudos to them. They have a cult following. I don't know. I haven't worn a Dooney and Burke in forever, so I don't understand it. Their quality is just supreme. And I think most of their bags are made in like Vietnam or Turkey or something, but their quality control is really good. They just need to come into 2024. So that wraps up the 10 bags, but I do have a bonus item, but because I have this bag, I'm not going to officially add it to the list. The 11th bonus item is the Alexander Rocco bag. I've had this bag forever, and when it first came out, I think it came out in 2009, my friend was still working at Barney's, and she got one, and I just like, ooh, I want one too. So when it came around to my birthday, my boyfriend was just asking her, like, what should I get her? You have a discount. Let's buy her a bag. That's a no-brainer. And she told him to get me this bag because I've been wanting one for a while. So this was another it bag with like the metal at the bottom. And of course, you've got the side zipper right here. I haven't used this. I use this bag every now and then, but this thing is so freaking heavy just because of all of the metal at the bottom here and the strap. So I do bust it out from time to time, but not very often. It kind of just collects dust. But because it was a birthday present for my boyfriend, can't let go of it, right? And it's not really worth much anymore if I were to sell it or anything. So I definitely will be keeping this in my collection. But this was another it bag that every girl wanted for the longest time. And of course, Alexander Wang has, produced a lot more bags, but it did not take the internet or social media or whatever we had back then, MySpace back in the day, by storm with this particular design, which I think is really unique. The quality is pretty great too. My friend said that hers got shredded, so I don't know. Maybe I haven't used it enough for it to have like wear and tear, but it looks like it's as new as the day I got it from him as a birthday present. So that's the bonus item. So before I rattle off all of the prices and the pieces I found, which I'll link everything down below for you, how much do you think I need to spend in order to recreate my teenage handbag collection dream? Let's see if you can get anywhere close to it. I was completely way off. So, all right. So just to rattle off that I found in decent prices that aren't just like completely inflated. And if you're enjoying my ramblings here, do hit that like and subscribe button for me and let me know that you are having a good laugh, because this is all for entertainment. So let's get into the rapid fire of what I found online that are completely reasonable prices, as opposed to Y2K trying to inflate the prices kind of listings, right? So the first one is going to be the Stam bag. I found one at $375. Number 2, the Proenza Scular bag, also at $375. The Chanel one was probably the biggest hit here. I found one from a reputable website, is going to be at $1,300. Now, the Ralph Lauren one is going to only be $27. What a cheap one. A Coach wristlet, even cheaper, $15. The Balenciaga, now obviously I wouldn't buy this, but for argument's sake and this activity's sake, let's just say I did want to purchase this. I found a really pretty one for $635. The Von Dutch, $102. The Lululemon bowling bag is going to be $30. This one looks kind of terrible, but it's the only one I could find. Then you've got your rare vintage Juicy Couture velour bag. I think that's what the proper name is, at $160. Then you've got the Fendi Baby Spy bag for $234. And last but not least, a Dooney and Burke purse that is like the colorful one for $65. Now, adding all of this up, how much am I going to spend if I were to recreate this? Comes out to be a grand total of $3,318. That's if, like, you know, Poshmark, I don't make any offers. Let's just call it list pricing and giving them what they want. At $15 for a wristlet, let's not be a scumbag. Let's not make an offer for like $8, okay? So if I add tax to that, then, you know, that's another, let's just say, another $300. But let's just talk about retail without tax, $3,318. That is how much I would have to spend today. And honestly, if you think about it, like 10 different bags or 11 different bags for the price of basically one bag today, is that a bargain? I don't know. Obviously, all of these bags, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 of them out of 10 are leather bags. The rest of it are going to be mostly canvas and like nylon. So I don't know if that is something comparable. So enough of my rambling. I hope you enjoyed this video. I thought it was fun to kind of just relive my teenage years. And comment down below if you can relate, or what is the bag that you lusted over as a teenager or a young adult. I'll see you in my next video, but in the meantime, go check out this video, whatever the YouTube algorithm has chosen for you. Life is hard. I want to help you save time and money so that you can somehow adult easier and hopefully less in retail. I'll see y'all next time.